Okay, so you know that feeling. End of the day, you finally collapse and just think, wow, work, school runs, dinner, it's just a whirlwind for working parents, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It feels relentless sometimes.
And trying to find like real quality time with the kids and all that,
Yeah,
meaningful chats, it can feel almost impossible.
it really can. Like you're just trying to keep all the plates spinning, and you start wondering, are we actually connecting or just managing logistics?
Exactly. Are we getting past the how is school stuff?
It's such a common feeling.
Yeah.
If you feel more like a project manager for your family than someone having those deep chats, well, you're definitely not the only one.
Right. And that's really why we wanted to do this deep dive today. For you, the parent who's in that daily rush but really craves something more, more than just the surface level answers.
Hmm.
We've been looking into some really interesting ideas about strengthening those family bonds, even when time is, super tight.
Yeah, practical stuff.
So our mission here is to explore some real strategies pulled from what we found to help you move beyond the day-to-day grind and actually connect, really connect, starting now.
And what's great about the source material we looked at is that it gets the time pressure. It's not painting some fantasy picture of hours of free time.
No ideal scenario.
Right at all. It's focused on making the most of the minutes you genuinely do have.
Okay, so let's dig into that. This time crunch. There was a statistic that really stood out.
Well, yeah.
Most families apparently spend, get this, less than 50 minutes together daily, less than an hour.
Wow. 49 minutes, I think it was.
Yeah. And when you think about your own day, juggling work, pickups, homework help, dinner, it feels about right, doesn't it? Maybe even optimistic sometimes.
It really does. It just vanishes. And it really highlights the challenge.
Yeah.
What does that limited time actually mean for building strong family ties?
Well, the perspective in the material we reviewed is pretty insightful on this. It suggests basically stop trying to magically find more hours.
Because they're not there.
Exactly. Instead, focus on transforming the quality of the time you already spend together.
Right. Think about those moments you're in the same room. Are you truly connecting? Or just kind of coexisting? Watching separate screens, maybe?
That's such a key distinction, and it brings up a really simple but I think powerful example from the text. Dinner time. Instead of, say, having the TV on in the background, which is so easy to do.
Totally.
What if that time became, focused conversation time, actually talking, hearing about the day, sharing a laugh maybe?
It sounds almost too simple, but it takes a real conscious choice, doesn't it? To
Wow.
shift that default setting.
Absolutely. And it points to this bigger idea of being, intentional about where our focus goes.
Yeah, because there are so many distractions pulling at us. Work pings, social media.
Yeah.
It's constant.
Right. So making that deliberate choice, even for short bursts, to prioritize family connection, family values, that can really start to reshape things.
It really can.
Yeah.
Shifting the dynamic.
Okay, so if we're aiming for quality over quantity, what are the sort of foundational building blocks? The material we looked at lays out some core ideas, almost like pillars for building stronger family relationships.
Yeah, these pillars give a really good framework. The first one is about communicating with love and respect.
Okay.
And this isn't just, passing messages back and forth. It's about fostering an environment, a really safe space.
Safe space.
Where everyone feels okay sharing what's really on their mind, their thoughts, feelings, worries, joys, without fear of judgment.
And a big part of that is listening, right? Truly listening.
Active listening, exactly.
Right?
Not just waiting for your turn to talk, but genuinely trying to understand where they're coming from.
That makes sense. And it feels really linked to the next pillar, which is spending quality time together.
Seems obvious, maybe.
A little, but the emphasis here seems to be on making that time focused, even if it's short.
Precisely. It's that intentionality again, putting the phone down, turning off the mental to-do list.
Easier said than done sometimes.
Oh, tell me about it. But really engaging in whatever you're doing together. Even just 15 minutes of that focused connection can be worth more than hours of just being in the same space distracted.
Okay, that's encouraging. Then they're showing appreciation and gratitude. This feels like one that can easily slip through the cracks in the daily rush.
It really can. But the impact is huge, isn't it? Just simple things.
Like what?
Like saying thank you when someone helps out, even with small chores. Or just expressing love, like, I really loved hearing about your project today. It makes people feel seen and valued.
Yeah, those little things add up. Okay, what's next?
Next is resolving conflicts with compassion. Because, let's face it, disagreements happen in families. They just do.
Oh, yeah.
But The focus here is how we handle them, encouraging open dialogue, really listening to understand the other person's point of view, finding solutions together, and always, always trying to approach it with empathy.
So it's not about winning the argument.
Not at all. It's about understanding and finding a way forward together. It's actually
Wow.
teaching a vital life skill.
That's so true. Modeling that for our kids is huge. The material also talks about supporting each other's dreams.
Ah, I like this one.
Me too. Being the family's biggest cheerleader, basically. Encouraging passions, offering support, guidance, whether the dream feels big or small.
Yeah, being that unwavering source of belief, it builds so much confidence, that feeling of my family has my back. It really fosters that sense of belonging.
Definitely. Okay, another pillar.
Practicing forgiveness. This is a big one. Holding on to grudges or past hurts.
Hmm.
It just creates distance, doesn't it?
It really can poison things.
Exactly. So learning to forgiving others, and sometimes forgiving ourselves too, is so important for like healing and rebuilding trust.
Forgiveness can be tough, though.
It absolutely can be. But the way it's framed here is about making space for love and understanding to grow again, clearing the air.
Okay. And then there's creating and celebrating traditions.
Yes. This one always feels warm and fuzzy, those little family rituals.
Like Pancake Saturdays. Or a specific holiday thing you always do.
Exactly. Whatever it is for your family. They create that sense of continuity, those shared memories that bind you together across time, even generations. They become your family's stories.
Love that. Okay, is there a final pillar?
The final one really underpins everything. Embracing unconditional love.
The bedrock.
Pretty much. It's
Yeah.
at fundamental acceptance, supporting each other through thick and thin, successes and failures. Knowing your love no matter what. That's the foundation.
Accepting each other, celebrating wins, being there through the hard stuff. Yeah, that really does feel like the core of a strong, resilient family. Okay, so these pillars are great concepts, but how do we make them real? Especially when we're rushing around.
Right. How do we translate this into action?
The material we looked at gets practical here, offering some concrete communication strategies, things we can actually do.
Yes, this is the how-to part. And the first strategy is super important. Practice active listening.
We touched on this, but let's break it down.
Okay, so it means really focusing when your child or partner or whoever is talking. Stop what you're doing. Make eye contact, if that feels right.
Put the phone down. Again.
Definitely. Pay attention not just to the words, but the feelings behind them, the body language. And a really helpful technique is to sort of gently repeat back what you heard.
How would that sound?
Maybe something like, okay, so it sounds like you're feeling really frustrated about what happened with your friend today. It shows you're actually listening and trying to understand.
Yeah, that reflecting back. It makes the other person feel heard, doesn't it? Validated.
Exactly. Which leads nicely into the next strategy. Use I statements.
The classic I feel.
Yes, it's about expressing your feelings without blaming or accusing the other person. It totally changes the dynamic.
So instead of, you never listen.
Right, which immediately makes someone defensive. Try reframing it. I feel unheard when I'm trying to talk and you're looking at your phone. See the difference?
Yeah, it's about your experience, not an attack on them. Much more likely to lead to a real conversation.
Absolutely. Opens the door instead of slamming it shut. The third strategy is to schedule regular family check-ins.
Like put it on the calendar.
Kinda. Maybe not that formally, but building in a regular time. The suggestion I really liked was the 2 stars and wish activity.
Okay, what's that?
Maybe a dinner or another calm moment. Each person shares 2 good things from their day, the stars, and 1 thing they hope for or wish for, the wish.
Oh, I like that. Simple, positive focus.
And the key points highlighted were even just 10 minutes per person is great. And crucially, screen-free, non-negotiable.
10 minutes screen-free. That feels doable even on busy nights. It creates that reliable space for sharing.
Exactly. Next up, validate emotions, even the tough ones.
Ooh, this is important. Validating doesn't mean agreeing.
Precisely. That's the key distinction the material makes. You don't have to agree with why your child feels angry or sad or frustrated, but you can acknowledge the feeling itself.
So saying something like,
Well, I can see why you'd feel really disappointed about that. Or, it sounds like that made you feel angry. It builds empathy. It shows you get it, even if you see the situation differently.
it helps them feel understood, not just dismissed, less alone with those big feelings.
Mm-hmm. And the final strategy here is about modeling repair after conflict.
Repair, meaning apologizing.
Yes, and making amends. Showing our kids and partners how to navigate disagreements healthfully and then fix any hurt feelings. It's something we might not consciously teach, but it's vital.
So if you snap at someone,
You circle back later.
mm,
The example given was great. Hey, I'm sorry I snapped at you earlier. I was feeling really stressed from work. That wasn't fair to you. Can we talk about it calmly now?
okay. So you acknowledge it, give a brief reason, not an excuse, and invite reconnection.
Exactly. It teaches that relationships aren't perfect, conflicts happen, but we can fix them. We can recover. It builds relationship resilience.
That's a really powerful lesson to model. Okay, so these strategies are super helpful. Now, the material also offered a neat little framework, right? An acronym.
Yes. The great values.
Yeah.
It's a way to kind of weave all these ideas into daily life.
Okay, let's break down great. G is for.
Give. This covers lots of small, intentional acts, giving a hug, a genuine compliment, offering health.
Tangible things.
Yeah. And also giving your time. Doing something your child enjoys just because they enjoy it. And that screen-free dinner connection we talked about, that's giving your focused attention.
So giving time, attention, appreciation. Got it. R.
R is for relate. This is simply about spending time together, being present in those moments, really connecting,
Pushing together.
but being present together. I love the fun idea mentioned, establishing a heartbreak hotel time.
A what?
Heartbreak Hotel, like a playful name for designated device-free family time.
Yeah.
No phones allowed at the Heartbreak Hotel check-in.
Huh. I like that. Makes it clear, but lighthearted. Okay, E is for.
Energize. This connects our well-being to our ability to connect. So making exercise a family thing, maybe walks, bike rides, swimming.
Getting active together.
Yeah. Also prioritizing sleep. Maybe a family rule about devices out of bedrooms at night. And just noticing simple joys together, like nature when you're out for that walk, taking a moment to appreciate it.
Right, because when we feel better physically and mentally, we connect better. Makes sense. Okay, A.
A is for almost. Try something new. This is about encouraging a bit of adventure, stepping outside comfort zones together.
How so?
Trying a new recipe as a family, learning a new board game, tackling a tricky problem in a creative way. It's about fostering that spirit of learning, trying, and even being okay with not getting it right the first time. Shared discovery.
Learning and maybe even failing together sometime.
Exactly. It builds resilience and can be really bonding. And finally, T is for talk.
Which brings us back to communication.
Right back. Setting aside that time for open, honest chats, and the material suggested a really lovely, positive question to spark conversation.
What?
What have you done that was great today?
Oh, that's nice. Shifts the focus from just what did you do to something more reflective and positive.
Exactly. It encourages sharing something meaningful, building that appreciative family vibe.
Okay, this great framework feels really practical. Give, relate, energize, almost try something new, and talk.
It pulls it all together nicely.
So wrapping up this deep dive, I guess the main takeaway, for me at least, is family doesn't need to be perfect. Not at all.
No,
Like
definitely not. It's not about perfection.
It's more about being intentional, showing appreciation, making that effort to really communicate, and valuing those small everyday moments together.
Absolutely. It comes down to making conscious choices, even when time feels scarce. Every little effort to connect genuinely really does add up. It makes a difference.
So a final thought for you listening, thinking about those great values we just talked through: give, relate, energize, almost, talk. Could you maybe pick just one small thing from that list to intentionally try this week?
Just one little experiment.
Yeah, maybe it's a longer hug when you say goodbye. Maybe it's suggesting one screen-free meal. Maybe it's just asking that question. What was great about your day today? Pick one, try it out, and just notice. Notice what happens. You might be really surprised what a difference even a tiny shift can make.